Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gilharmonic on Violinist.com. This is Laurie Niles.
And I'm Gil Shaham. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Laurie, this is our grand finale.
I know.
Grand finale.
I can't believe it.
I'm gonna miss this. What are your plans for August?
Me too. I'm going to miss doing this, but we've had 8 great episodes. In August on Violinist.com, we're going to be focusing on the new school year online and what violinists and teachers need to know, making videos of, how to tune your violin at home, how to change a string, and how to fix your setup if you need to. So just trying to inspire people for the fall, even though things are very strange right now.
I love Violinist.com. Folks out there, please check it out. It's amazing.
And what are you going to do with yourself in August?
Well, I guess I feel like I should mention one very special date, the 24th of August.
The 24th of August.
The 24th of August.
My mother's 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Pat Noonan. Yay. Is that what you meant, Gil?
Yeah. Happy birthday to Pat. Absolutely. And
there's something else, though, right?
Well, if folks out there want to celebrate with us, Adele Anthony, violinist, who's my wife, and Ari Kang, who's a wonderful pianist and a good friend, we will be performing a concert on a brand new platform called Dream Stage. This is actually very, very exciting. This is kind of the brainchild of Jan Fogler, the renowned cellist, and Thomas Hesse and Scott Chasin, who are renowned technology developers. And it's really, really exciting. The highest resolution video, the highest resolution audio. It's going to be a real stage. We'll be at the Fisher Center at the Bard College. It's going to be live in real time. So interactions with audience will be very real. Audiences can comment at us or maybe even clap if they like, and then meet us backstage. It should be really fun.
That sounds cool. So that's dreamstage.live. I did take a look at it and it looks really cool. So everybody check that out. And, speaking of having a lot of fun, we have a great episode for you today.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think we have our youngest guest so far.
Definitely.
Is that right? We have 5-year-old Claire
Just
Oviedo.
Just turned five.
Claire Oviedo. She's charming and talented and a diligent practicer.
Yes, you're going to find out about that. And then we also have someone, she's a beginner. We have somebody who's a very advanced student from the Colburn School named John Fawcett. He's going to play Ernst Last Rose of Summer. And among violinists, we know this is an infamously difficult piece. So this is going to be so fun to hear him play that.
And hopefully we can maybe talk him into playing some of his own music too.
Right, because he does some composing too. So we'll see.
And everybody, please stay tuned. This is very, very special. Vijay Gupta will be with us, and he's playing a gorgeous new piece by Reena Esmail. I can't tell you how touched I was when this piece just grabs you.
Yeah, both Gil and I totally fell in love with this piece. It's just like mesmerizingly beautiful. So you have to hang on for that.
Vijay is a MacArthur genius, and he is the founder of Street Symphony, and he's a luminous presence, and we're lucky that he'll be with us.
Absolutely. So if you're watching live, please tell your friends. Join the live chat on YouTube. And then also when it's over, this still will be available. If you want to share it with your friends, you'll still be able to watch it. So here we go. Our first guest is Claire Oviedo, who just turned 5. She lives in Rockville, Maryland, and she started playing the violin about 11 months ago. Her teacher is Stephanie Sims Flack, and she has been practicing every day since she started without missing a day. We're going to hear her play Andantino from Suzuki Book 1. Yay!
Good. Brava,
Well
Claire.
done.
Wow. Claire, you did such a good job. I really enjoyed that. When you were playing, your bow was so straight. And you were looking at your fingers kept coming to the right spot every time. Oh, wow. What a good job. And did you slow down at the... You did it so well.
You
Wow.
did. And you have really nice stage presence too. You concentrated really well. So Claire, I understand you've been practicing for a lot of days. How many days in a row have you practiced for?
342.
Wow, that's almost a whole entire year.
I wish I could say that.
Does your mom help you practice? Yeah.
Sometimes at Maryland, well, this is not Maryland, but today we're leaving.
Oh, okay.
You're leaving? Where are you going?
Back to Maryland to my house, but this is my grandma's house. We just visit for a long time.
So you practice if you're at your grandma's house, you practice if you're at home, wherever you take your
Sometimes not at my house, like my mommy's. Sometimes she lets me practice myself.
Oh, does she? When you practice yourself, what do you like to practice?
Well, just one song she told me to fix that song, and then I come and tell her when it's ready.
Yeah. Do you have a song that you like to play a lot?
Allegro.
Oh, I love that song. I have a secret. I know what allegro means. It means happy.
I know.
You knew that, huh?
You knew that.
Where to go?
What is it that you like about that song?
Because it has a stopping in the end, a trick ending.
A trick ending?
They clap.
Right, they accidentally clap because they think
Yeah.
But it's not over. When you practice, Claire, is there ever a time when you don't want to practice, but you practice anyway?
Every day I see that.
Oh, really? You say you don't want to practice every day? But you do it.
Later, and then the next line, later.
But you still do it.
I still do.
Hey, Laurie, did you want to play the falling asleep game?
Oh, yeah. You know what? There's a part in Andantino where I like to pretend that I'm falling asleep. Could you play it for us again, and we'll play the falling asleep game?
I don't know how to play that game.
No, all you have to do is play. I'll do the falling asleep, and you can kind of see if it looks really funny. That's the falling asleep game. Is there anything that you wanted to ask Gil?
Us, yeah, or Laurie.
What did you want to ask? Go ahead and ask a question.
Did you like to practice when you were a little kid?
That's a good question. Did I like to practice when I was a little kid? You know, I don't think I use the word practice. I always thought of it as playing. And so I always like to play, you know. But practicing is very important. It's true. If you want to fix something, if you want to get better, you want to practice. But I think what I always liked was playing, you know. And I loved singing songs with my kindergarten class. That was really...
I love that too. That was my favorite part of the day. But practicing every day, Claire, you're doing a really good job, because practicing every day is the most important thing. It'll be the thing that makes it so you can play lots of new songs. Well, Claire, it sure is nice to talk with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take a big bow.
I loved your bows also.
Yeah.
Maybe can you show us another bow, please?
Ready? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claire. Oh, I have one more question.
Okay, what is that?
I see you're holding a violin, and then did you bring one bow or two bows?
Two, because one is in my hair and one is here.
There it is. Thank you, Claire.
So like normal bow, and this is just a violin bow.
Okay.
That's right. That's
That makes
exactly
sense.
right.
Our next guest is John Fawcett. He's 20 years old, and he's from Bend, Oregon. He has been studying at the Colburn School with Robert Lipset, and this summer he's been at the Heifetz Institute studying with Jan Sloman. He's going to play for us one of the most difficult pieces in all the violin repertoire, The Last Rose of Summer by Heinrich Wilhelm Ernst. It is based on a poem. It's based on a song that is based on a poem by Thomas Moore. And so I'm going to read you this Irish poem, and then he will get started. So The Last Rose of Summer. 'Tis the last rose of summer left blooming alone. All her lovely companions are faded and gone. No flower of her kindred, no rosebud is nigh to reflect back her blushes or give sigh for sigh. I'll not leave thee, thou lone one, to pine on the stem, since lovely are sleeping, go sleep thou with them. Thus kindly I scatter thy leaves o'er the bed, where thy mates of the garden lie scentless and dead. So soon may I follow, when friendships decay, and from love's shining circle the gems drop away. When true hearts lie withered and fond ones are flown, oh, who would inhabit this bleak world alone? All right, let's hear it. Oh my God.
Wow.
Wow. You know, listening to that as a violinist, I can't help not think of like the hurdle run at the Olympics, and John plays, he just clears them so easily. And I gotta say, hey,
guys.
there he is, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, what a great
Thank
what
you.
a great
Such
job.
an honor for me to be here.
No, for us, I have to say, when I was listening to you play that, I was thinking, these pieces can really sound like a kind of, a whirlwind of particles and tornado of notes and,
yeah, totally.
left hand pizzicato and bicycle spokes popping, but you really did such a great job of bringing out, finding that melody, finding the beautiful song, and guiding your listener through it. So yeah, hats off.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, it's the theme. I can play the theme, and then it kind of gets harder and harder. And then I'm glad it came out well. I can't really tell the pizzicato variation what's going on in the moment because it's happening so fast. But yeah.
Well, to me, it sounded so like Irish, like very authentic. I mean, it really made me think, this is an Irish folk song. Was that intentional? Did you study Celtic decoration? What's in your mind when you're playing?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that, because actually when I first started playing this piece, I felt like I didn't really get that, because there's so many technical things. And of course, I have a long way to go with this piece. But there's so many technical issues, and I work with it. And the theme, I didn't really care about it. But as I've been studying the Heifetz Institute, and who I'm studying with there, Jan Sloman, he was talking to me about how the authenticity of this theme and how special it is, and he gave an image of an old man and recalling a past life in a room late at night, and he doesn't want to wake up his family. So it's very interesting perspective like that. And when I was playing it, I haven't been at school for a long time. and I felt like I thinking like, oh, there's a lot of friends that like I really miss.
Yeah.
Like I kind of started having that thought when I was playing that theme, and it kind of helped a little bit. So.
It's
just channeling that feeling during this time. Yeah.
It's a very deeply moving song. And actually, Laurie, you did an excellent job reading that poem.
I didn't sing it for you all, and
No, but I think, when Ernst played it, probably he expected his audience to know those words and to know the melody.
Sure. I think it comes from late 18th century. The original theme, you can trace it back to this harpist with an Irish name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, but you can. So when Ernst maybe it was a more recent thing when Ernst had written the variations. So
now I don't really know much about Ernst, but maybe for people out there who don't know, my understanding was that he was an amazing violinist, and he was a fantastic fiddler who was said to rival Niccolo Paganini himself. And there are stories about the two of them interacting where Paganini, he heard Ernst play and he said, "Oh, now I must hide all my music from you," or something like that. Is that about right? Is that your understanding of?
Yeah, I think so. And I wish I knew more. I'm going to go, look more when this is over. But there's this urban legend that he would rent rooms right next to where Paganini was staying in hotels to kind of decode all, the special tricks that Paganini was doing, so he could put them in his own music.
Sounds expensive.
I kind of think they were both insane, though. I look at the music and I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what happens to me too. So
I love that you use that word, insane.
Yeah.
Because it's insane. There is a kind of, in a good way, but there's a kind of insanity to it. Like I think of like Liszt. He takes a tune and he's like, how many notes can I pack in one bar with 10 fingers on the piano to play?
Are you like 14 fingers, maybe, really, is what it takes.
It's an interesting aesthetic question, because I think I'm going to get this wrong, so please, people, correct me in the chat. But I think there's a nice letter of Mozart's where he writes how I'm getting this wrong, but he's opposed to writing difficulties for difficulty's sake, But then on the other hand, there's another quote, I'm going to get that wrong too. But I think Czerny was writing about how, just a few years back, pianists would have difficulty with these passages, but in our modern times, the 1800s, in our modern times, almost all amateurs can sit down at home and play these difficult. So I don't know. What do you think about this insanity?
Yeah, well, it seemed like everything's getting so much harder. I guess back in the Baroque period, the violin went up to fourth, maybe even fifth. There's actually, I'm getting this attention, but there's a concerto by Bach. I actually, it's like no one knows about it because it's the arrangement of his harpsichord concerto in D minor. And I actually just got the music, and it's very special because I just purchased the music, and it's kind of rare. But anyways, Bach has sections where he goes way up high, and the saying goes that it was too difficult for everyone back then to play. But yeah, getting back to Paganini and stuff. Yeah, this was amazing, and and they were crazy, and the fact that people thought he sold his soul to the devil, like this isn't surprising, I guess, because but now, of course, today everything's always getting more and more advanced and more kind of intimidating, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of don't think that every amateur in their living room can play this piece. But like, how long have you been studying it?
I started probably 2 or 3 months ago. I was really exciting and deciding what to work on because everything kind of slowed down during the COVID period. So
right.
No, I've had some time. I probably like 3 months.
Well, no, what made you,
Yeah,
what made you, was there some kind of insanity that made you go like, last rose of summer, it's time?
Well,
Yeah.
I've always so admired the piece. I actually, I attempted to learn once the Earl King arrangement by Ernst, and that's difficult in another way, but that's crazy. That's like 4 voices the whole time, like like yeah. Last Rose of Summer is kind of crazy in different ways, in a different way. I actually, I saw it on lists for, I mean, it's not very important, but I saw it on lists for different competitions that they might want this piece. And I just saw that one day, and it, not necessarily that I want to do it for the competition, but it got me thinking because I've heard this piece before, and I love it. And I listened to it one day, I re-listened to it, and I just got so excited to some of those amazing things, especially the third variation with the chords. And so I was inspired to learn. I kind of kept it kind of a secret at first because I was afraid what my teachers might say.
Secret project.
Because you have to be practicing.
Kind of like Paganini, right?
Yeah.
I guess Ernst. He was a Jewish violinist from Moravia, I think. When I last Googled it, which I think is somewhere in Central Europe, maybe like Czech Republic today, or something. Something like that. But I do think it was a spirit of experimentation. The Baroque era when they started building these instruments, when they started experimenting with tuning and with counterpoint and with everything. It is kind of amazing that they this kind of spirit of experimentation and pushing instruments to the limits, instrumentalists to their limits, violin to their limits. And I understand that you also write music.
Yeah, speaking of experimentation.
I'm very flattered that that's acknowledged on the show, because I don't have much time, but when my school facility was shut down because of the virus, I had more time. I was able to write a full piece, and I premiered it the other day.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Can you play us a little bit of it?
Yeah, I suppose I have my violin here, so I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow!
What's it called? John?
I called it. Sorry. It's a bit difficult, so sorry for the imperfections. But it's called. I called it Waltz Fantasy, and it's basically in the style of Wieniawski, Isai, Fritz Kreisler, and like the golden age of violin. It's not like contemporary modern music of today.
I hear the waltz in there.
Yeah. I was inspired by like certain Wieniawski pieces. Yeah.
John, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be,
for us.
Much respect.
Yeah, it's our honor too.
Continuing the tradition of virtuoso violinists. Thank you, John Fawcett.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My privilege.
We're very lucky today to have with us Vijay Gupta. In 2007, Vijay became the youngest member of the Los Angeles Philharmonic at the age of 19. In 2018, he was a recipient of the MacArthur Genius Grant. And nowadays, Vijay dedicates his energies to street symphony, which is his baby. It's an organization that brings music to Skid Row, to the homeless and incarcerated populations of Los Angeles. He is an advocate for social justice, and he's married to the wonderful composer Reena Esmail. Reena is an amazing composer who is the composer in residence this year for the Los Angeles Master Chorale. He will play for us a piece by Reena called When the Violin, and I will attempt to read the poem on which this piece is based. When the violin can forgive the past, it starts singing. When the violin can stop worrying about the future, you will become such a drunk, laughing nuisance that God will then lean down and start combing you into his hair. When the violin can forgive every wound caused by others, the heart starts singing.
Wow.
So beautiful.
I'm just completely spellbound. That is
Mesmerizing. Mesmerizing.
beautiful, and just using the violin in such a different way, and it really does sound like a voice singing, but
So beautifully composed, so beautifully played, so expressive, so expressive.
Hi.
Hey, man.
Thank you both so much. That means so much to me.
Well, can you tell us about this piece, because it just sort of came out of nowhere for me, and it just grabbed me.
Same.
Well, I have to say it kind of came out of nowhere for me too, because it came out of the place that I think all the most important things come out of, which is love. And I was actually in Aspen at a bookshop, and I came across this book of poetry by Hafiz, and I found this poem, and I took a screenshot of the poem. I hadn't quite bought the book yet. I promise I bought the book after I took the screenshot, and I sent it to Reena, and she started to work on this choral piece that was initially for cello and voices, actually written for the Golden Bridge series here in LA. And I immediately got very jealous, because I thought, what the heck? It's when the violin, not when the cello. Like, you have to write like a violin version.
I'm with you. Yes.
Come on. And so then actually this piece became the last work I actually performed in public before we went into quarantine. I think it was March 11th was our concert. We did a performance with 9 singers and solo violin. And then I asked Reena for a solo violin version of this work. And that's what you just heard. And the work is so haunting, because I think that the poem is so powerful. To think about this idea of forgiveness, especially in our current national consciousness, in the current global pandemic of COVID and the pandemic of racism that we are encountering in our daily lives. What does it mean to forgive the past? What does it mean to put ourselves right now? And I think that that's what this piece makes me feel. I become totally present when I'm hearing this. I have to be here.
Yeah.
Laurie and I were talking about this before, and we weren't sure if we were going to go there, but I do feel forgiveness is incredibly powerful. Vijay, talk to us about forgiveness.
Forgiveness is such a difficult concept to grapple with, because we kind of hold on to our wrongs as like kind of part of our identity, right? But the poet David Whyte tells us that forgiveness is actually assuming an identity larger than the wound, larger than the hurt itself. It's not denying that hurt happened. It's saying that hurt is not the only thing that happened. Right. And so in a sense, forgiveness is transcendent. It allows us to return to this place of softening, this place of being open to the world. And I think that's actually why we need art now more than ever. That's why we're turning to music and turning to art to heal us, because art keeps us soft. It keeps us open. It keeps us in this place of curiosity where we're like, okay, well, I'm healing, but what can I also make? What can I be open to? So I think your comments about forgiveness are right on, Gil. It feels like an important spiritual practice for all of us.
And speaking of the music, I mean, this music has a different sound to it. And as I understand, it's built on a raga. So can you tell us a little bit about like what a raga is? Like you were saying, more than a scale.
Yeah, so a raga is more than a scale. It's more than a mode. The word raga actually comes from the word rang, which means color, which is actually really interesting, because that's what the word chromatic means as well. It means color. Right. And so this raga is a raga called Charukeshi. And the notes you heard were sort of, the top is what we might consider minor-ish, maybe the first, the top 5 notes. But then the bottom is what we might call majors, a raised third. But what's amazing about this raga, and with many Hindustani ragas is that the main point of inflection is actually not the tonic, what we might call the sa or the do. It's actually the pa, or the fifth scale degree. So that's why you hear. And so you kind of rest in this fifth, where it's the most ambiguity. You don't know which way you're going to go. And so you have all these beautiful kind of phrases that go. And then you might come back to rest on the third scale degree. So it's not tonic based, it's more dominant based.
Vijay, will you talk about that one finger ornamentation? I mean, that reminds me of what I used to hear in Israel, you know, from maybe Arabic traditional music or Turkish traditional music.
Yeah, and so much of Hindustani classical music, as in all musical traditions, is based in the voice. And so I'm not a very good singer, but what you might hear in Indian classical singing is that sort of thing. And so how do you mimic that with the hand? And so you might have. So what I try to do is keep my hand as loose as possible. That sort of thing. Yeah. Another one is so one of my favorite violinists to watch, and I watch her like crazy, is a woman named Kala Ramnath. And she's an amazing Hindustani violinist. And I watch her and I'm mesmerized, because it's not just about the sliding with one finger, it's sliding from one finger. So she might finger certain things and slide between certain things. So it was kind of half intuitive, half cheating, half borrowing, half stealing, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, Laurie.
You know, I wanted to also ask you about Street Symphony while we're talking with you.
Sure.
You know, this is something that you founded in what year? You know, I've been hearing about it for a long time.
If you believe it or not, it's almost been 10 years of Street Symphony. And we founded the organization in 2011. And to be very honest, I never meant to make a nonprofit. I really, all I meant to do was ask a question. And the question that I was asking is, why is it that the concert hall is the only place where an audience would come to hear the power of the music that we love, right? We know the transformative power of music. We've had that conversation. We're here because of it.
Yeah.
And how do we think about music and the nourishment of music and art as a fundamental human right? And so the idea actually wasn't even rooted in genre, or wasn't even rooted in sharing a certain type of music. It was about sharing connection. And this idea of community that emerges from communion, you know, and what does that mean? And when we play music, whether we're playing Bach or Esmail, that we as performers know, as players, we know that the music will always humble us. We're always in communion with something greater than ourselves. And so the idea of Street Symphony was to share that sense of communion with audiences that would never be able to step into the hall. And what might have started as a kind of one way, maybe an outreach or perhaps kind of a charitable interaction, became very human and very mutual, because the human experiences of people in our audiences actually taught us how much we, as the musicians, needed that connection. So we like to joke and say Street Symphony is really a two-way street symphony, because we are the ones who are recipients of the love and the attention and the intention of our audiences to claim us as their own. So it's a very special, very healing interaction for us as musicians as well.
That's just beautiful, Vijay.
Thank you for sharing yourself with us and your music with us today.
Yes.
We're so lucky.
I feel pretty transformed right now, actually.
Yes,
Thank
me
you.
too.
Thank you. Thank you both so much.
Wow. I love Vijay's idea of music as a two-way street. I mean, the audience needs the artist, but the artist needs the audience just as much. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, what do you think, Gil?
I'm so moved by this. I'm so moved. I loved when Vijay started singing. When he started singing. I've been very lucky. I've been on both sides as a musician playing on stage and as an audience member listening to music too. I guess we had a bit of a poetry reading today.
We did two pieces based on poems, so that was pretty fun. And this whole summer has been just a really wonderful treat. I mean, it's been an honor for me to listen to all of our students and the guests that we've had, not only to listen to them play, but also just to listen to what they had to say, their insights about the music and what they're doing. It's been just a real pleasure. It's been just a joyous journey for me. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you for doing this. I want to thank everybody, all the viewers out there, everybody who sent us videos, all our guests that brought so much joy and inspiration. I want to especially thank Robert Niles, who made all of this possible and put in a lot of hours, a lot of hard work behind the scenes. He provided us with technical support and on occasion emotional support. Yeah. Very true. And Gil, thanks to you for just having this idea. Just to cheer people up. It certainly has cheered me up through a couple of months that have been difficult for everyone, I think, during this pandemic. So, thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, please check out Violinist.com. It's amazing website.
Yeah, and check out Gil's concert that's going to happen on August 24th. Gil, what are you going to play at this concert?
That's right. I guess the 2 p.m. Eastern, August 24th, we'll play Tchaikovsky and Stravinsky and Wieniawski and Moskovsky. And just for good measure, we'll throw in some non-ski composers. We'll play Prokofiev and Bach and Brahms and Sarasate. And I guess I should also mention, right now, you can find the platform on dreamstage.live. About a week from now, you'll be able to find it on your television sets.
Wow.
And in the app stores, or there'll be other ways to access those concerts.
All right, so check it out. I think I'll be writing an article about it too, so you can check for that on Violinist.com. So all of our previous Gilharmonics are available on a playlist on YouTube if you want to see all of them, or share with your friends. We really appreciate everyone being here today and for all the shows that we've had. Please subscribe to Violinist.com's YouTube channel. Follow Gil Shaham on Facebook and follow Violinist.com on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here.
Everybody stay